and I am back like I never left. Once again, ball in hand. Now it's out of hand. Now it's back in hand. I was going to throw it, but I decided that was probably a bad idea. Anyway, happy new moon in Cancer. It was yesterday. It was Friday. So, whenever you're watching, so, if it's like a year from now, obviously you can't really, but January 6th, was it? New moon? Not new moon, full moon. Did I say full moon? I'm all jumbled up. Happy full moon in Cancer. It's a full moon in Cancer, so happy that. If you celebrate. I'm sorry. Anyway. So the last time we spoke, I was talking about just training and stuff. Because, I've been in transition and I'm just like, oh man, everything's all transition-y. And when it gets transition-y, it's hard to like do stuff that you normally do because you're moving, but you're not in your place, you're in a new place. So, you're out of your element, so on and so forth. So there's been a lot of that, and I'm getting a handle on things. Now, I said that last week, that I'm getting a handle on things, and I am, because it's the routine, right? It's those decisions that you make, kind of like the medium level decisions that you make to do every day that help stabilize you, right? Maybe you get up at a certain time or you go to bed at a certain time. Maybe you like to do a pre-bed routine, have a little tea, maybe you light a candle and you read a chapter of a book before you go to bed. That's a little, something that you do to kind of transition into sleep. Or in the morning time, maybe you get up and have your coffee and you have some, some toast or something with it. Or maybe you have, I don't know, whatever the thing is, but it's the routines, right, that kind of give us the foundation, whatever that is. So I'm getting back into a routine, and it feels good, right? It feels good to have that because I'm feeling more grounded. I'm feeling more stable. And that's the thing about travel, is that you definitely feel, well, you are, because you're unstable and you can like really feel it. So I'm happy to be feeling more stable. But I have a couple of things, and they're kind of, not off topic, but just different from what I was planning. But I'm going to do this video this way, and then I'll do the other one next week. But I have a funny story. I have a funny story and I have a cool story. First of all, you're like, Johnny, where you at? Well, I'm somewhere. Well, you're about to find out. So I was at the grocery store. I just left the gymnasium. And I went to the grocery store because I was just like, ooh, I'm hungry and I'm going to get some food so that I can prepare the dinner meal, right? So I went to the grocery store because the grocery store, they got all the groceries. So I go to the grocery store and I just left the gym. I got my headphones in. Now I got long hair, so you can't really see a lot of times when I have headphones in. But I have my headphones in and I'm just kind of chilling, just doing my thing. And the way that I work with sound is that it tends to be a distracting kind of force for me. Now, I'm listening to music, so I'm intentional about it. So I wasn't being distracted. I was doing the thing that I set out to do. But when it's just kind of like over here or over there or whatever, or maybe I'm wanting to have a conversation with somebody, like the sound can be really distracting for me because my body's trying to accommodate all of this sound and it can't. So I get distracted. It's difficult. So I'm in the store. I got my music in. I'm just doing my thing, getting my groceries, and I go get all my stuff. And I leave, and I was on the phone at a certain moment, but then my mom calls me, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just about to get off the phone, so I wasn't able to get off in time. So like I call her back in like a minute, 2 minutes, something like that, and I'm like, hey mom, what's up? She left me a very interesting message, really interesting message, and she's just like, Jonathan, I saw somebody in the store that reminded me of you so much, and so I decided to call her, And she's just like, I was just like, well, where you at? Are you gone already? Did you leave the store already? She's like, yeah, I left already. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I was like, well, what was he wearing? She was just like, he was wearing orange, this orange workout shirt. And I'm like, oh, orange workout shirt. I don't have that on right now. Orange workout shirt and black shorts. I said, oh, black shorts, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds real familiar. And he had on these gray shoes with color on. I said, oh, wow, whoa, yeah, that's very interesting. That. So basically, my mom saw me in the store. She didn't know that I was here. I wanted to surprise her. I'm in Ohio, and I wanted to surprise her because she lives here in the city, in Cincinnati, and I was going to surprise her. But in my desire to be secretive and surprise her, she caught me at the grocery store getting groceries. But because she was so sure that I was not there, that she kind of, was half stepping on approaching, because I asked her when I finally fessed up. I asked her, why didn't you just approach? Because that would have been a very funny and beautiful way to see you. Because I was going to surprise you, at her house or whatever, But just randomly in the grocery store, she's expecting me to be in Arizona or Texas, and then here I am. Hey, Mom, I'm in Ohio. I'm in your city. It's like, why didn't you approach? She's just like, well, I didn't want to be wrong, and I wasn't sure, and I could see your profile, but I couldn't see you from the front, and and I just thought it was kind of fascinating because it really speaks to, well, the main thing is, trusting yourself and moving on opportunities when they present themselves. It's kind of like, so funny. I just saw a story my brother was kind of telling about, just opportunity. So it's just kind of funny. But like when he was talking about a girl that he liked or thought was attractive, and he happened to see her out randomly in public 2 times, and how the first time he didn't say anything because it's just like at the gas station or whatever, just didn't say anything. Then he happened to see you again like the next week. It's just like, oh my gosh, but he didn't say anything. And he said, all right, next time if I'm saying something for sure. And guess what? He never saw her again, right? So it's just like the opportunity was there. It was there in front of you twice, actually. And you didn't move on it because of, what? So my mother saw me in the grocery store, and because she thought that there's no way that I could be here, she didn't move with the intensity necessary to kind of get the result. Now, obviously, this wasn't like a life or death situation. It wasn't like a big, financial opportunity, or it wasn't. It was just, her son, being here, and I was going to go see her anyway. I intended to do it a certain way because I like the surprise element. I intended to do it a certain way, but it's a good story for when things happen in your life and you get that inkling to move, and it's just like, well, why don't you? What's holding you back from moving? Is it what you think is supposed to be, and things are situated in a way that's different from what you think it's supposed to be, so therefore you don't move because it's not lined up the way that you think it's supposed to line up? And it's just like, life doesn't really always move like that. It's sometimes things do line up perfectly, just the way you thought. And I think that's, I'm sure that's a lesson in and of itself. But it's, in my experience, things don't go like that. It's not always step by step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in perfect order, and boom, there it is. It's just like here's my desire, and here's where I'm at, and then it zigs and zags and all over the place. So there's just that, when you get that feeling to move, then it's just like, I think that you should trust that feeling to move. whatever it is. Because yes, this was something small, or it wasn't as pressing, but what if there's an opportunity for you, to get a new job, or to go on a vacation that you've never been on but you've always wanted to go on, or you just, the new experience that might literally change your life because the person you meet there does the thing that you didn't even know existed, and y'all become like best friends for the day or while you're there. You never know. But if you don't move when you get the inkling to do so, you miss out. And it's just one of those things. It's a bigger lesson in like a much smaller instance, but just like the importance of trusting yourself, trusting those moments where you get that flash of, you know what, I know this seems kind of crazy, but let me just check anyway. My mom she said, let me speed up. I know what I need. I know what I'm here for. Let me just speed up, follow this guy, get real close, and just, instead of being embarrassed by whoops, I don't know why that light went off. Instead of being embarrassed by well, what if it's not him? What if it's somebody else? Who cares? You don't have to go up and speak. You can just go up and turn around and look. Just go up, turn around, and say, "Hey, oh, okay." And yeah, there's still a way to protect yourself if you're feeling a little vulnerable, but do your best to seize the opportunity. What's they say? Seize the day, carpe diem. Is that right? I believe that's right. Seize the day or seize that moment, because you could potentially miss it or ruin it, or if it's meant for you, it'll come back, or whatever, or maybe the lesson is in the missing of the thing. But I feel just like, it's one of those things that it makes me want to be more present. Makes me want to be more present and grounded, because I know that the way that I move through life and the way that I successfully move through life is through my interaction with other people. And if I close myself off, or I don't listen when I get those inklings of, hey, move, go do this, then I'm missing out on the things that life is giving to me, presenting to me, right? So it's just a little, just a funny little story about how my mom caught me and ruined my surprise to see her, but in kind of a much bigger thing, which is kind of cool. So take that however you will. If something pops up and you get that little inkling to say, you know what, let me go ahead and pursue it. I hope that in that moment when it happens, that you say, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Forget it. Let's do it. What's the worst that could happen? So that was the first thing. Hope you enjoyed that. The second thing that I had, and it was so cool. So you all remember how I was talking about in some of my past videos, and if you watch the interview I did with my brother, that I was talking about a woman, Miss Blue, who does her stuff on her channel, on her YouTube channel, and on Blog Talk Radio and all this other stuff. I was listening to her show last night, but I went to the gym, so I missed it live. I just caught some of it when I went to the gym, and I was like, okay, there's always the replay. So I'm listening to the replay, and this is so cool. This is one of those stories, it's one of those things that really highlights the importance of connection, the interconnected nature of our reality, and you just being attached to people and things, you don't even realize it. So I'm listening to this show, and she starts telling this story. She's just like, somebody contacted her on Instagram and told her that I was singing her praises on my brother's YouTube channel, A Healthy Alternative. And I was just like, because I looked in the comments before the show started, somebody was like, oh yeah, I'm here because Jonathan's recommendation. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, what? So I'm listening, and she's telling this, telling the story of how it happened, and she um, actually follows the channel and has for a few years, which is like, wow, really? So she followed the channel before I, followed hers, and but I had I had no knowledge of this. I had no knowledge of this, and she was just talking about how when I was telling my story, her and her daughter were watching, and they're like crying and stuff, and it's beautiful, and I'm just listening like, oh my gosh, I was so touched, and I was so thankful because of how much it helped me getting to speak to her, and really just being authentic about the entire experience. And this is why I believe that authenticity is so important and that it pays dividends, because the kind of things that I was saying are things that I genuinely feel. And I was so grateful because her words literally changed my life. Stuff that I'll use forever, and can share, and it can maybe help other people who could be struggling with similar things, or just whatever the case may be. So it's just like there's this interplay of people with knowledge, and you get bits here and there, and all, and just like when we share it and when we're authentic, it's just like there's so much beauty that can come out of that. So I was just being honest. I was just being real about what I felt and how I kind of view her. And it was just so cool because she shouted out my brother on her channel, and it was one of those things. When I was listening to it, I was just elated, because I don't even, I think I kind of I've downplayed my experience as far as other people and them kind of seeing, or potentially seeing, its worth. And I think I've downplayed that as far as like my importance, I guess I'll say. And it's not like oh, I'm so important, but it's just how our stories, and when we're being authentic and genuine, just what it can do for someone else, right? Just how that can impact someone else. And I think it's such a powerful thing. And obviously when it's coming from a real place, then, real things can happen. It's so when I think about it, because I love talking about Miss Blue, and listening to her, and just learning, and it's just like, who knows what can happen? Who knows where it will go. And it's one of those. It's very exciting. It's very exciting, because it's like, Chris was just when I was talking, he's like, oh, it's like meeting your favorite celebrity. I'm just like, yeah, it is. And I'm just like, if I don't know if she would consider herself a celebrity or anything, but it's like that to me. She's like that to me, And the funny thing is, she's just a human, just like me. But when you hold certain people in high regard, there's a certain extra energy about them, and that's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things that's really cool. And so it's just telling the story, and I just felt like, I don't know, there was a moment where, I don't know, it was a full circle moment or something, but I just felt like I'm getting paid energetically for, I don't know, something that I've done, just being honest about stuff, because I had no idea how things were going to turn out. And but I just really enjoyed it. It made me feel good, and I just like wholesome things like that. And I'm just hoping that other people kind of take this. I mean, if you don't know who she is, and if you're not familiar with me or my brother's channel, A Healthy Alternative, or anything like that, then none of this will like really, I don't know, make any sense or whatever. But just imagine some of your favorite people, and then getting to meet them in these circumstances in which you follow one another's channels and don't know it, and just all these things. Like, it's really cool. Like, it's really cool. And I just wanted to share that because I was so excited about about the whole experience. I was very excited about it, and just I was just all jazzed up, you know. So really, just think of it as a wholesome story. I just want to share that energy with you, share the good vibes with you, and I'm hoping that during this upcoming week, right, you'll be able to feed off of this good vibe story and then the funny story with my mom, and then take that and then have some good stories of your own that you can share with the people in your lives that are close to you. And then we can all just kind of, keep projecting good things and good things in love. I know it may sound a little corny, but I'm a corny guy. You know what I mean? A little cliche, but that's just what it is. That's what it is. I've accepted it, and that's just what it's. That's just what it's gonna be. So that was pretty much it. I mean, there might be more. I was just happy, I was just happy. I was excited, and I just wanted to share that before we get back to our regularly scheduled. I got some new stuff coming up. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm just gonna drop it on you. And honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna like increase the upload schedule a little bit or exactly how it's gonna work, but probably start dropping next week. So just, don't hold me to it, but low key kind of expect it. But don't hold me to it though. Like we gotta, I'm putting it out there that I expect some new stuff, but just kind of, just in case I get sleepy or something. Just give me the leeway to do what I've been doing. But I got some new things, and I'm excited. I'm excited to share it. We'll just see how y'all respond to it. But yeah, so that's it for today. That's it for this one. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to my story, and I'm hoping that again that you all have a great week. Kiss your spouse if you got one, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mama, your daddy, your siblings, your babies if you got some. Go out in public and just smile at people. Please smile at people. I know that it's like one of those things where people go out and they don't smile at the grocery store, but please smile at people. It feels good. I be smiling at people, and I always notice that it brighten up a little bit. So please smile at people. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. Thank you for joining me. I'm Johnny Jupiter, and remember, there is no outro.